TAQ Capital, technical analysis quickly.
This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Before taking any action based on the information provided on this channel, it is recommended that you seek the advice of a professional licensed financial advisor.
Let's do this.
Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Sorry for the late video here, but it's been a crazy hectic day for me and it was the best I could do. To jump in real quick here, if you just want to know exactly what's going on right now, we are on the 15-minute chart on Bitcoin. We fell down into this wedge here. So we hit the orange 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we did our swoop down. And now we're working on heading up to the orange. So there's a good possibility, as it's got to break up or down, as it's a sideways broadening wedge, that we're going to break up here. So let me shrink this a little bit so you can get an idea for what this orange wedge looks like. I mean, it's so broad that it's almost useless. But then we broke into the blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We did test and out. And then we broke into the yellow, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like we're going to come down, probably set a new point below the yellow line. So actually break down out of the wedge. And then we'll take the yellow line here and drag it more like this. So then we would have 1, 2, 3 wherever it hits, and we're going to go up for a fourth somewhere up here, which will have us breaking out of the red wedge. And the red wedge, of course, is a 1, 2, 3, as of right now, 4, and I think we're going to do this swoop down, break up and out. That's the immediate. So let's zoom out a second. Okay, this right here is the daily chart. This was the peak of the market. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're working on getting out of here. Then it actually started in smaller wedges, obviously, and all pieced together in the pink, because when we were up here, you know, we had no idea we were going to be down here. So let's look at this thing as it unfolded. We started in this yellow wedge, and we did our 1, 2, 3, 4 break up and out, which kicked us into this orange wedge, which went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then break down, which kicked us into this red wedge, which was 1, 2, nope, that's not it. There we are, 3, 4, hit, and break out. Now at the time, we didn't actually know about this peach wedge. So I'm going to shut this one off. And we actually kicked over into this teal wedge, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then break down, which took us into the green wedge, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're currently in the process of this swoop down and out. But we got rejected here. So if you actually zoom in, you can see here that we're not actually touching. So at one point this was touching and was our fourth, but now this is our fourth. And that's a touch. So now we're going to do a swoop down and out. There we are looking at it closely. It used to be a hit on the green. Now this is the hit on the green. And we did our swoop down like this. And we're going to go up and out and possibly even break out of the pink, which is a total game changer from what I've been thinking this whole time. But I'll continue. And this is why I love the wedges so much, because they tell the truth. So in this red wedge, as we were breaking down here, this one, we then kicked sideways into this blue, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, and we did this swooping, bounce, and out. So we broke out of the blue, and in the blue, we transitioned into this teal. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a sideways broadening wedge. So this can either break up or down. But because we know we're breaking up out of the green, we can at least count on being somewhere in here. So even if this is like a bounce like this and a down, we know we're coming up in here, which would actually break us out of this purple or pink. Yeah, let's call it pink. This pink wedge. And the pink wedge goes all the way back to the peak of the market. So this is major resistance. So if we break through that, it's going to be major support. So there's a good chance that this is actually up and out, and we're not going down to the $10,000 to $8,000 range, which is what I originally anticipated. But there's also a possibility that we do this, you know, swoop down and out and then just flop over and head down that direction anyway. And in which case we would just take this pink line and we would move it up here and we would redraw the pink wedge. Now I'm going to jump down into the smaller time frames. This is the 5 hour. So within that teal wedge, we hit the white. This is the big run we just had. 3 and down and out. So we had a 1, 2, 3, 4 down and out. And now we're breaking into this little cluster here. So let me show you what we're looking at there. And all of this is contained within the big yellow, which I'll talk about in a second. Okay, now we're down on the 1 hour time frame. So this is where we broke into this orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had quick hits like that. And now we're doing this thing, which looks like a swoop down, because I don't think we're coming down here. So I think we're doing a swoop down, up and out. So if we go up out of this orange, we're going to find resistance at some point on the white wedge that we were in. Or, potentially, we're just redrawing that white wedge. And that's where the yellow wedge comes in, this big one. We would have our first hit here on the yellow, second hit here on the yellow, third hit here on the yellow, and then we're going up and actually out of the pink wedge to clip somewhere up in here on the yellow wedge before we come down and out. Now that down and out could be, coming down towards the pink, over time. I'm not sure how high we're going to go here. So we're going to go to the Fibonacci retracement tool to see if we can get an idea. Okay, if this is our first run here, from here to here, then we would get a retracement. Generally, we split the difference between this one and this one. So that's not a steadfast rule. And where did we come in at? Pretty much splitting the distance. So I'm happy with that. So then this could be our big turn back up to where we maybe hit the green bouncing out, hit the purple bouncing out, or pink or whatever the heck it is, and then come up here to this teal wedge, which would also act as resistance at that point. So let's zoom out and see what that is. That's this teal wedge here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and normally it would be like a bounce down and out. We usually don't transition from 4 to out. It does happen, but it's not usual. So I'm cautiously optimistic on that one. I mean, the blue wedge is dead now, but this will still act as resistance on our way up. The green wedge is not done yet, so we do have to break up. The pink wedge we could certainly break up out of, but that's going to be a lot of resistance. So there's a lot of obstacles getting in here. So we could actually be looking at something where, say 1, 2, actually it looks like that's 3. Let me look at that. Let me drag this down here. Yep, that's 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, and we're doing this all the way down to 4. So then this bounce could take us up here, miss that teal, and then come down and break out of the teal way over here. So that is possible. But it could also be one of those rare exceptions where we break up that way. So we could still then have our meltdown that I've been calling for, but we're going to be beginning it mid to late October. Something along those lines. And we've just begun that here now. And this is the 6-hour chart I'm looking at. So let me get some dates here. Yeah. I'd say mid-October probably. Maybe even slightly sooner. Yep. Sorry for the pause there, guys, but I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go along here, too. This one kind of eluded me. So the meltdown could still happen because it's very unusual for us to go from 4 and cross the whole thing and come out. It's usually these big swing bounces, kind of like what we're doing right now in the green, for instance. This was 4, big swing, and we're going up and out. And then we're also doing it in the... Which one here? Oh, I think we did it here in the red. This was a big swing. Like, I mean, it covered over half. Like if you cut the wedge in half, it retraced over half. Big swing up and out. So we get a big swing up and out. We could hit that and even get rejected from it and then come down. But even if we break out of it, there's no telling that we won't just turn around and come right back down. So even if it is the up, it doesn't mean it's not going to be followed by a big down. All right, but right now I'm turning on the Ichimoku cloud and the Bollinger Bands to see what's going on. This is the 30 minute. Okay, we've been on quite a bit of a tear right now, so I think we're going to work our way back down to the Kijin somewhere in here. If I hit the 45 minute, same deal, 1 hour. Same deal, 2 hour, 3 hour. Yep, all the same. And you can actually see if I turn on my RSI here that we had divergence, bullish divergence, because this was going from here to here was up, whereas from here to here was down. And then that's when I jumped in and have been writing it up since. So I'm so sorry I wasn't able to get messages out to you guys. I was in the middle of something where I didn't even know this was really going on. And my jump in, I had to call in because my phone's a giant hunk of crap right now because I'm waiting for my new one to come and I'm using an ancient phone. So my apologies today, just really didn't work out from a timing standpoint. And I do feel bad about that, but hopefully this doesn't happen again eventually when my new phone comes in. Anyway, the reason why I have this green line here marked off is because of the Fibonacci retracement tool. Because if this was our first run here, then we retraced, which again you can see kind of landed somewhere in the middle between splitting this one and this one. Then we had our second run, which was this. So we would measure from down here, which is this line, all the way to up here, which is this line. And we can see that we're going to retrace to at least here generally. Now I do say, again, we like to split it, but that doesn't always happen. So this is a safe buy-in. So if I'm not able to monitor the computer, which I may not be here shortly, then as it comes down, I can get my buy-in, it'll reset, clip it, and then head back up again. And that's what I'm expecting to happen because we do have to break up out of this red. And this swoop down here, all that is our rejection on the 4th. We get a swoop down like this, and then we break up and out. Because as of right now, the yellow line is drawn like this. So as we come down and we break down out of this, we then just drag this line down, reset it like here. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go up, get a 4 somewhere up here outside of the red, and then we're going to break down again and come out that direction. How this plays out, how long it takes to play out and all that, that will unfold and we'll know more soon. But the 10-minute, as unreliable as it is, because it can change on a whim, is calling the candles down to here. The 15-minute, or the 30-minute rather, is calling them down to here, which is close to that 1977 mark. 30 minutes, 45 minute, yeah, they're all just right around here. And I would expect as we come down, we're actually going to break through a little bit, clip, and then go back up. And we don't have the Tenkin crossing the Kijin yet, so that's going to happen. And that's not even on the we don't even have that on the 45 minute, let alone on the hour. And the hour is holding strong down here, so this is pulling them down this direction as well. So I guess sit tight, wait for that to unfold. My guess, I do not know 100%, but based on what the wedges are telling us, we are definitely breaking up out of this red at some point, and then we're going to work our way towards this orange. How close we get to it is anybody's guess. I think we could possibly even break up out of the orange because of the way that the oranges work. So even though, let me get rid of these, even though this teal wedge is somewhat questionable, if I jump down to the 10-minute again, the teal wedge, where are you? Here, where we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, and this looks like it's probably going to be part of some elaborate balance down and out because, again, they don't often go to the other side. The orange wedge is doing something similar when we zoom in here. And we have our quick 1, 2, 3, and this is a swoop down, up and out. So we can still come up way outside of that orange and break up out of the pink and head up to new heights on the yellow without messing around with this teal yet. So that's what I'm going to say. Final answer. I know I've repeated myself a little bit here because, again, I'm kind of thinking out loud. So if you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe. My other socials are down below. And once I get a phone that isn't a giant hunk of shit, I will be able to keep you guys more informed, more timely. So my apologies on today. Hopefully you guys got into some of this. But this is the power of the wedges. And I've never seen anybody else talk about them in this fashion. 1, 2, 3, 4 out, or 1, 2, 3, 4 bounce out. So I don't know if I've just landed on something here, but it's really helped me make money in the market. I mean, when I deviate from the wedges and I pay more attention to things like the Ichimoku Cloud and the Bollinger Band or the CPI reports or Elon Musk tweet or whatever, I get burned. If I listen to the wedges, even though I really truly think it's going down to $8,000, $10,000 range for a number of reasons, which are in my prior videos, I could be wrong. The wedges are telling me, at least in the short term, we're heading up to 25,000, which will get us pretty much at the bottom of here, which we started our last bounce before the meltdown. So 25,000. Yeah, 25,000 would keep us just outside of here. And then if we actually do end up doing a cross up and out, I mean, the sky's the limit at that point. And maybe this really was the bottom of the market at the 17,000 and change, whatever it was. But that's it for me today, guys. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day out there, and I will catch you in the next video.